Welcome to Brain Vision.
Problem 815. So we have a tennis player warming up before a match, bouncing a tennis ball vertically off of her racket. The ball has a mass of 57 grams, and it goes 5.5 meters in the air. And we want to find what is the impulse that had to have been imparted to this ball in order to get it to go that high. Now, whenever I see a problem that involves some sort of object moving up and down in the air, and you want to figure out something about it, the first thing I think of is using the conservation of energy. Because, the gravitational potential energy at the end point here, 5.5 meters in the air, is going to be equal to the kinetic energy right after the ball leaves the racket. But there's a slight issue here that, what does this have to do with momentum? How can we get momentum into this? Because, the impulse is all about momentum, or the forces, which is even worse because we have no idea what the forces are. However, with a little bit of cleverness, we can come up with an expression for the kinetic energy that you will find useful later on in your physics careers. So if we multiply this by m over m, which is 1, so we can do that, we find that we'll get 2 m's on the top, and then 1 m on the bottom, along with the 2 from before. And well, this is momentum right here. So the kinetic energy is equal to the momentum squared divided by 2 times the mass. So now we're in business. So we know that the final potential energy is mgh. And it's easy enough to find this. And we know that the kinetic energy is p squared over 2m. Now, since the ball is being hit from rest, its initial momentum is 0, and right after it leaves the racket, it'll be this p squared and the initial kinetic energy that causes it to reach the height h. So now all we need to do is rearrange this for the momentum. And we will find that it's m times the square root of 2gh. And the momentum at the beginning, recall, is the impulse, because it started with 0 momentum. So we put in our mass. Take the square root of 2 times 9.8 meters per second squared times 5.5 meters. And putting all those numbers into however you like to do these things, it transpires that our impulse is 0.593 Newton seconds, which is also a kilogram meter per second, depending on whether you like to think of impulse as being change in momentum or the force times time. This works out to be the same units. If you take this to base units and then reduce it, it all works out. And there we have it.